Hello and what is going on today, guys? Tomcat here, and in this video in Forza Motorsport 7, I'm going to be explaining to you guys the June update that comes out tomorrow on the 5th. Now, there's a lot of interesting things in this update, and if you think it's really just that car that they showed on the website, and, you know, they made an article about it, but there's that one car that people see at the top of the article, and I feel like some people are going to go, oh, it's just a slightly old, slightly ugly Mustang race car, which, personally, that car, I mean, I think aesthetically, yes, it's ugly, but it's functionally ugly. So, it may not be a pretty car, but it works. It does its job, right? And also, funny enough, that car is not a V8 car. You would think Mustang race car, V8 car. But no, it's like a 2.4-liter big turbo car. It makes in the mid-5s, I think, for horsepower. So it's definitely a weird car that will be fun to drive and fun to get used to. But without any further ado, let's get into this and talk about what all is going to be different in this June update. Now, I'm not going to go over every single last detail, but I'm definitely going to go over the ones that are directly related to what I'm interested in and what I think the community is going to be very interested in. So, firstly, I'm going to start out with some of the multiplayer things and multiplayer control that they're going to be adding into the game. Now, the main thing, and right out of the gate, is password-protected lobbies. So if you want a locked-down lobby, and only the people that can get in are those that have the password, you'll be able to do that. And it would actually be very interesting if you're planning on, say you want to have a private drift video filming session, right? And you don't want anybody coming in and messing with it. You can do that. If you want to have a private race, if you want to have anything that's like super, super private, then you can protect it with a password and then nobody can come in and mess with it. I can see this being a thing for, like I said, for video makers, for drifters, for really hardcore racers that don't want anybody in that isn't of a certain, you know, isn't somebody that they've already pre-approved. I can see this being used in a lot of different ways. Now, as a host, you can also control a few new things, like, for example, you'll have the option of either, so say, for example, upgrades, you can do stock or any. Tunes, stock or any. And then ownership, owned, rental, or any. So you can force players into rental cars, you can force them into owned cars. You have a lot more control now as a lobby host. And I think that that's kind of important, because if you are doing a specific type of activity, a specific type of race, a specific type of game session, it's nice to have that control. So number one, you can't, you know, have players running around, you know, griefing people and messing up a race. But also, furthermore, further forward than that, it's actually kind of streamlining for the lobbies themselves, because if someone doesn't know what car they want to use or what car they need to use, if you already have that set, then you're pretty much going to be good to go. You know, that they won't have to kind of be, you know, kind of flustered around with what car they want to, you know, they want to use or whatever. You can determine that right from the get-go. So there's a few other features in here too. It's specifically also with photography. They've got a new panning focus mode, and I'll show some demonstration shots here. This is the traditional tracking focus, and this is the new panning focus. Now you can see there's a little bit of a difference there in terms of which areas are blurred and which areas are not. I'm not a massive like photography expert by any means. I just know that sometimes I look at a picture in Forza and I go, wow, that looks really freaking good. And say, for example, I can look at one picture and look at a different picture and go, okay, this picture looks better than this picture, but I can't look at a picture in Forza and go, you know, I can't, like, tell you exactly what all they've done, and, like, I can't give you, like, a breakdown of what settings the photographer used, but I can tell you the difference between what a picture looks like. So I'm definitely more of a video guy than I am a photo guy, but I definitely appreciate all the work that it takes to make some really, really good photos in the game. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it, and I have a lot of respect for those guys. Now, to go into a little bit more detail on the panning focus mode, as they say here, they say the difference between the two camera options is best seen when taking action shots. The new panning camera option offers a deeper motion blur effect than the tracking camera and is most noticeable on objects in the far background. So if you really want to focus in on the car itself and emphasize motion and action, then this is going to be really, really great for that. Now, if you like to get super, super in-depth into your Forza 7 gameplay and experience, they're opening that up with something called Data Out. Now, Data Out is what they're calling the system that allows them to power things like motion sleds. It's a data stream, basically, and it's like super, super geeky stuff. But if you're interested in doing any sort of motion rig support or in-depth data logging, things like that, you know, maybe powering a dashboard of some kind, this data stream can do that. And that's, like I said, super insane, super geeky stuff. And a lot of people, you know, the general Forza player base is not going to take advantage of that. But for the people that are, I'm sure they're freaking out right now, because that's something that like the players that are going to be into that are going to be really, really, really into it. It's one of those communities where it doesn't have a lot of people, but the people that are in it are freaking crazy and they know their stuff. And I think the people that are going to take advantage of this system are really going to do a lot with it. Another thing that is important to talk about here, and actually is relevant because of the car that I'm using, is the Hooligan Car Pack is becoming available as of this update to everybody. If you're a Car Pass holder, you're going to get it for free. If you are not a Car Pass holder and you didn't get your hands on it before, then it's going to be a purchasable car pack. And, I mean, you can say what you will about the way that's all structured and things like that, and the whole kind of, I guess, you know, back and forth DLC politics that people get into, but regardless, these cars are, like I said, going to be open for everybody now, and I think it's good. I think that people are going to enjoy these cars, and I know I've been enjoying them ever since I first used them. I loved them in Horizon 3, and I love them here in Motorsport. I mean, especially when you take these cars onto closed circuits, they become even more crazy, especially the Hoonicorn. The Hoonicorn is a freaking monster, and taking it onto a closed circuit is nuts. The Twerk Stallion is super fun to drive, super smooth drift car, really nice to use, nice to manage. And I was so freaking proud of how close to the wall I got the wing right back there. I was like, oh my god! I was just freaking out. I was absolutely freaking out over it. And I don't know, it was just like, it was nuts, and I was going nuts about it. But anyways, moving on from that, yeah, I think that the Hoonigan Car Pack is going to be, you know, is going to be something that, of course, there's going to be the people that are going to be mad about it. There's going to be the people that are going to say, oh, well, it should have been here from the start. No, why is it not? But again, that is literally always going to happen. There's always going to be those people that are going to go, this car pack sucks. Oh, that car pack sucks too. So, like I said, I think there's always going to be that. That's always going to be there. And there's really not too much you can do about it, you know, with the Forza fan base, because there's certain people that, yes, of course, they have a valid point on certain things, but there's also other people that are going to just kind of like make a fuss about anything just to make a fuss about it. So it all depends on kind of what you know, what area of that you're with. And by no means am I saying that people that make a valid point shouldn't be listened to. That's not what I'm saying at all. But what I am saying is that there are certain people out there that'll freak out and like I said, make a fuss about pretty much anything. So you kind of have to look at it from one side or the other, and kind of look at it from the fact of, like, I like to look at it from the fact that, like, okay, hey, these cars are now becoming available to more players. Cool? Cool. So if you want to get your hands on them and you didn't get a chance to get your hands on them before, go for it. Now, really, to close this out, the last thing that I really wanted to talk about is Forzathons. Now, Forzathons are being ramped up in terms of how many are going to take place. I mean, we're talking about multiple every week. So that means more Forzathons to take part in, but also that means more rewards, more cars, more things to actually acquire through those Forzathons, and they're also being disconnected from achievements. So that'll be an interesting thing, because they say that by doing that, they can really go more in depth on making more and more and more Forzathons themselves. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to click that like button. Tell me in the comments below what y'all thought of it, and if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe for more. I will see all of you awesome people next time. Talk to you guys later.